It's the G-Men Show 40. SAI or S-Lady AI?
Yeah, it's the GMen Show. Talking fruit, tech, and ego. Hot takes, cold coffee, still hitting every keynote. They roast your phone. No. They roast each other. Tips, rants, one after another. Is that a feature or just a bug? Either way, it gets a shrug. GMen Show. Turn it up. Let the fanboys know. Questions, rants, or a nerdy confession. Call in now. Join the obsession. 703-828-46777. 703-828-46777. Yeah!
And welcome everyone to the G-Men Show. I'm Guy and he's Marty. He's Marty.
Marty.
Not Gaz, Marty. WWDC had loads of stuff related to kind of everything. Apple touches or produces. Instead of trying to go through it all, we're just going to talk about Siri AI in just a little bit. First off, let's bring Marty. Hello, Marty.
Hey.
How are you, sir?
Good. I actually
well?
yes, I'm doing well. I just finished talking to 40 international teachers about AI. They wanted me to come in and talk to them about how to use it. And so, yeah, I'm kind of geared up for this.
Did they get it? Or were there lots of puzzled looks?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. They were real excited. I gave them lots of good resources, and they applauded when I finished my presentation.
Wow, I never get that. I usually get ridden out of town on a rail.
Yeah, and then they came up and wanted pictures as evidence.
Okay. You have a good lawyer, right?
Yeah, well, no, I was kind of sweaty as a pig by that point, and they wanted to kind of come up and do selfies. And I'm like, you really sure?
Oh my, that's terrible, Marty. That's awful. What have you got going on? You just got back from Chicago?
Yes. I decided I was going to take a 4-day break and went to Chicago to see a Cubs game and to see my sister and brother-in-law who have season tickets. And, they were playing, who the hell were they playing? They were playing San Francisco, and the fans sitting around us, nice, not creepy, horrible, terrible fans. We did pull the game off that it was like one of the 2 wins they had in 16 games. I got to see that. So when you go out to an event, it doesn't what's happening doesn't matter as much. You're outside at the event. And if you're a baseball fan, as long as you're in a park watching something, you just sit back and relax. And then
now you didn't do that thing that we talked about on was it Dave or
no
show? We
I can't. I think it was Dave's show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's okay. I don't mind admitting to it that
I'm so happy that you decided, and I'm sure your wife is too.
She was not convinced that it was a good idea.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it was a colonoscopy prep that I was going to do on the way back, and I thought that I would be able to demonstrate control, and
I think of all the people that you told that to, we all pretty much universally said this is the worst idea in the history of bad ideas.
So, to kind of prove my point, I decided that for the 6-hour drive back, I was not going to stop and go to the bathroom at all, just to prove that I could handle this. And it worked. So.
Okay. Well, as people who follow this show probably know, I didn't do a show last week, and there's a very, very good reason why. Friday afternoon, I decided really last minute that I was going to drive to Daytona Beach, Florida from Northern Virginia and catch the DC Defenders versus Orlando Storm playoff game, not expecting DC to win because they had lost in the previous 2 weeks to this very same team. Now, they weren't able to play in Orlando because of prior commitments for their stadium for something else. So they played in Daytona, very, very close to where my nephew and his wife live. So that's where I stayed the whole time I was in Florida. And I got down there, I left at like 3:00 in the afternoon, which in Northern Virginia is like the absolute worst time to leave to go anywhere because of southbound traffic. But I got as far as, I want to say Florence, South Carolina.
Yeah.
That first day, so not bad. And I was right across the highway from even better, a Buc-ee's. So I got to have like a breakfast burrito and a breakfast taco on my continuing drive south. So that worked out really well. And then I got some Crystal Burgers. So it's not entirely unlike colonoscopy prep. So, but
yeah.
But I got to my nephew's house, no problem.
Yeah, when you're talking about those little rotating taquitas or whatever, taquitas on at a bus stop or a truck
this
stop.
was at Buc-ee's. So they have a breakfast burrito, which is it's eggs and bacon and little hash brown potatoes and cheese and it's all good. It's really good. And then the breakfast tacos are basically like a smaller version of the same thing, just like because they're both done with like flour tortillas. Just one is smaller than the other. So they were both really, really good. And so I went to the game on Sunday. I got to my nephew's house Saturday. We went to the game on Sunday, and somehow DC won, and was not expecting it.
And Louisville was not expected to win either, from what I had heard.
Yeah, they were playing St. Louis, the Battlehawks. But Louisville, which is one of the new teams in the UFL this year, did not start off great. But then they beat DC twice earlier in the season and just went on this incredible run and were like second only to Orlando, because Orlando was 8-2. And I think Louisville, I'd have to go and check, but it's really not that important. Louisville was like 7-3, something like that for their final record. So DC as the number 4 slotted team, and that was, they barely squeaked in, somehow managed to beat Orlando, and Louisville beat St. Louis. And none of this was really expected. It's just kind of the way things worked out. So it was Louisville against DC for the championship. And even though the game was in DC at Audi Field, Louisville with the better record was the home team. And so they played, and in the first half, DC looked really good. They were running the ball. They kept Louisville from really doing much of anything. And then Louisville somehow came out as a different team in the second half and beat them. So that wasn't fun. I didn't like that, but it's okay.
I started following it because I know that you were a DC Defender fan, and then the game was coming on, and I'm like, well, I might as well watch it because there really wasn't anything else on.
Yeah.
And I'd be curious to see what this experience is that guy likes so much. And so I got through the first half, and then I think I took a nap. Well, so did the defenders.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was interesting, and a lot of the immediate sideline interviews with players who had just made a play and stuff like that was pretty cool. So,
and they've got some, and we're not going to go into it here, but they have some different rules that the NFL doesn't have, and I think it makes for a more enjoyable game. But this isn't the UFL podcast. The other thing that happened on Friday the 12th, yes, Friday the 12th was my younger son Peter's 30th birthday. So we were trying to figure out, because he lives in Fredericksburg and my son Guy Jr., not my idea, lives in Richmond. Well, Fredericksburg doesn't really have a whole lot in the way of like fine cuisine, you know, and that's not a slam on Fredericksburg. It's not a really great big town. And Peter was kind of looking for a good steak. So we were going to the game on Saturday. And so I basically handed the whole thing off to Guy and Peter to figure out. And they got us reservations in this place called Bookbinder Seafood and Steak in Richmond. And, you know, I hadn't never been there before. I had no idea what it was going to be like. And we got there and it was my son Guy and his significant other, Ashley, and Peter. Peter's wife was away with her mother in Canada, so she wasn't able to be there. And then, of course, my wife, Tracy, and myself. And we all met at this restaurant in Richmond called Bookbinder. And the food was excellent. It was really, really good. I got this, what did they call it? It was a prime ribeye that was like 16 ounces, and it came with like these fried onions on top that had been done in some kind of sauce. And it was so good. And everything we had was really quite tasty. And somehow or another, my kids have turned out wonderful through no effort, not effort. No thanks to me. They've turned out to be great kids, and I think that it must be their mother. So, you know, Congratulations, Peter, on making it to 30, and God bless the two of you. And I love you both very, very much. And I wish I had more to do with your upbringing, but that's a story for another day.
When you were having dinner with your sons and your wife, yes. I was having dinner with Dave Ginsburg and Kathy, and
Dave's
so
wife.
we had a nice. It was kind of Dave's wife, and we had a nice dinner together, which was great to and you know. And I brought my sister and brother-in-law. I really wanted them to come. I didn't want to, just leave them by the side. But there's always that, I always have that little thing is like, are they going to get along? Is this going to be a comfortable dinner? Yeah. And it was just wonderful. At some point I said, it's just fun sitting and watching you guys interact because it's just so pleasant. And Dave said, I'm not a jerk.
Kathy, I've obviously never met your brother and sister-in-law. But I have met Dave and I've met Kathy, and they're both wonderful. So I think it would be really, really hard to not have a great evening with them. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we'll be having more evenings with them coming up very, very soon on July 10th through the 12th for MacStock, which is happening in Crystal Lake, Illinois at the Holiday Inn there, and they have rooms at a discount for people that are going to be attending the conference. This is a fantastic conference. This is the 10th year for it. And if you like to hang out with tech people that also kind of follow along with the things that you do as far as Apple goes, whether you have a phone or a Mac or a Vision Pro or whatever the heck it is that you have, there's going to be people there talking about all of that stuff. And all of these people are just wonderful. And you will make so many new friends. You will have the time of your life. But you'll need to go on over to MacStockConferenceandExpo.com, get your tickets, and sign up to get on over to MacStock July 10th through the 12th. And there's an extra day on the 9th where Ecamm is going to be having a it's not like the full Ecamm thing that they do in other places because it's only for a single day, but they're going to take us through Ecamm, the live production software that we're using right now as we speak here. And this is fantastic software. If you do a podcast and you have any kind of video component at all in it, you should be using this software. And getting together with the folks at Ecamm, Doc Rock, and Katie, they will walk you through getting the absolute most from this software. So please go on over, check out max.conference and expo.com, or maybe it's just max.conference.com. If you just go,
Either will work.
Google MacStock, it'll come up. It'll be there in one of those. And come on and join us and have a great time early July. And it'll be after the 4th. So what the heck else are you going to be doing anyway? So yeah, come on over to Chicago, and have a great time. Now, Marty, I got to tell you, I am still loving this Heil PR35 microphone. It just makes me sound luscious, and I love this thing. We should probably go on over to Gaz's snippets.
Okay.
Snippets, headlines fly, we just clip it. Bite-sized buzz, you won't miss it. Hey, tapping quick, Gaz's snippets blinking, you get the gist of it.
Bum. All right. In the I'm drawn to this department, in iOS 27, there's a new drawing option in the app drawer for messages. On older iOS versions, messages had a very basic drawing tool that was accessible by tapping a button on the keyboard, but only in landscape orientation. But now Apple's full set of markup tools are going to be available in the app. In Mac OS 27, the markup tools will be in the notes and freeform apps. Are you running the iOS beta on anything, Marty?
Yeah, of course, Guy. I'm running it on everything.
Yeah, I put it on my only phone just before leaving Florida because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, well, I'm an idiot on everything.
Well, I did have some problems with Waze. Waze was not happy, and I kept getting like blank screens instead of the map. I mean, it was still working. It was still saying, go to this place and make a turn. It was doing all that, but I couldn't see anything. And I had to basically restart the phone to make Waze do its thing, which was kind of annoying. But now, because I used it also, of course, going down to Richmond from here, even though I know, how to, with Richmond, it's like from where I live, you take a right on 95 and go like 100 miles and you're there. So, that's how that works. Are you enjoying the experience so far with iOS 27? Have you had any problems with it?
I haven't had any problems with it at all on the phone. I don't use an iPad very much, but I do have it on there. I'm not having any problems whatsoever. I have Mac OS. I'm running even on this work machine. Well, am I running it on this work machine?
You're running it on your main machine?
Yeah, I told you I'm an idiot.
You're a brave man.
I am an idiot.
I feel I cannot put it on my main because I've got an M4 Pro Mac Mini. I cannot. I won't even run the public beta on this machine. I'll run the public beta because I've got an M1 MacBook Pro, and I may wait until after MacStock, but I will put Mac OS 27 on that machine after I get back from MacStock.
Yeah, I have a M4 Mac Mini, M4 Pro. Mm-hmm. That machine kind of sits on the side, and I have not upgraded on that. I've upgraded on
right now.
The one that I'm using right now is a Studio, Mac Studio.
And you put it on that?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
After I put it on
is that
Mac Neo.
Is that an M2 or M3?
It's an M3.
Okay.
I put it on both Mac Neos, and I put it on both of my M5 Pros. So, and I'm not running into any problems on it. That's when I said, I can put it on there. And I always have the fallback, which is the Mac Mini M4.
Yeah.
And that the last time I did this, of course, I wound up, something went haywire with this machine and something I needed. So I had to swap out the M4 in order to run stuff. But
It happens.
no problems. Yeah.
Okay. In the I'm barely comfortable with this department, Apple TV has a new hit with the horror comedy show Widow's Bay. The story of a mayor trying to turn the mysterious island he moved to and had a family with many years ago into a new Martha's Vineyard. If only the terrifying stories from the past would just lie down and be quiet, except they won't. Zombies, witches, Michael Myers-ish super serial killers, and freakish clowns are popping up, and the mayor's problems with his teenage son going out and getting stoned seems like it should be the worst of his worries, but it all ties in together. And the clash between townies who believe, other locals that don't, and tourists just wanting a Merlot to sip at sunset all fall into this show. Season 2 has already been approved. Have you been watching this show, Marty?
Not at all. This kind of stuff doesn't get to me.
It's so good. Did you watch Pluribus?
Yeah, I watched Pluribus.
Okay, the two shows are not alike in the slightest, but they're both very quirky. If you liked Pluribus, you'll probably like Widow's Bay. And
yeah,
I have yet to see the last episode. We're right up to my wife and I are right up to the last episode, and we're just kind of waiting until we have a break in our schedule. Because right now, of course, college baseball is on, which my wife loves.
Mm-hmm.
And so trying to get her to do anything other than watch college baseball has been a struggle. It really has. Go ahead.
I'm ready to line up. I just finished Rooster. Rooster finished, and it's time to start another.
Was that about the Fort Lauderdale guy? That was a
no. That was
PI.
That was Magnum PI, wasn't it?
No, there was a
no. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, but that's not what's
No.
Rooster.
Rooster is Steve Carell plays a
Yes,
pulp kind of trashy
pulp writer.
Pulp detective
And he becomes
writer.
The writer in residence for the college that his daughter
which has
works at.
Ted G. McGinley in it, and
Yes.
the guy from Scrubs, and it just has some very good characters in it. And of course, having hung around a college for so many years, there's a lot of that kind of inside and insight stuff. It is,
And the guy that played Jamie Tart is in it too.
Yes,
From
right.
Ted Lasso.
And this is all produced by Bill Lawrence. And so he's pulled in people from other shows like Ted Lasso and Scrubs and shows that he's been familiar with. But Steve Carell doesn't overpower this. Like,
No,
he's not like an office Steve Carell. His
Very
acting's
low-key.
gotten much better, and that follows the humor that way. So,
Yes.
yeah. I just
really like
finished
that
it.
show too.
Yeah, they've got a second season coming out. They've already put
Excellent.
up 2. So I'm in between right now. So I'm looking for something to test out.
Widow's Bay.
and
Check
try.
out Widow's Bay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. In the landscape department, landscape mode is coming to more apps in anticipation of the now highly regarded as inevitable folding iPhone, also known in pundit circles as the iPhone Ultra. It was already available on iOS 26 and earlier in Apple Maps, Calendar, Files, Notes, Mail, and some other Apple apps too. But iOS 27 expands that support to many more apps. Now, if this mythical beast ever is actually released, Marty, and I'm almost afraid to ask this, is this something that you will buy?
I've got my pre-order in already. I've got a mythical pre-order in for it. And here's the thing: I've got an iPhone Air, and I love it.
Yeah,
it is my walk-around device. I'm not a picture guy, and I have tried a Samsung Fold, Z Fold, and I've also tried the Pixel Fold. And the Pixel Fold is more of the form factor that we're going to see supposedly in this mythical Ultra. I don't like the name. I don't why did they call it Ultra, or are thinking of calling it Ultra? But it really opens like a book, the Pixel, and I prefer that form factor towards the long, slim Z Fold that are Samsungs. Okay. I am thinking I will probably, since I have an Air and I have a 17 Pro Max, I think I'm going to drop off the Pro Max line. Wow. Stick with the Air and go with the Ultra.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you're really happy with the iPhone Air and that's your everyday kind of device, then sure, if you get a Fold, there's not really much reason to hang on to a 17 Pro anymore.
Yeah, well, one of them's got to go.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to wind up being the Pro Max line.
Okay. In the What's the Frequency, Kenneth department, Apple appears to have modified the audio of this week's WWDC 2026 keynote video whenever S-Lady was mentioned, apparently in an effort to prevent viewers' nearby devices from waking inadvertently during the presentation. The technique was spotted by observers who shared spectrogram screenshots showing clear gaps in the specific frequency ranges, coinciding precisely with instances of the S-Lady's name throughout the video. Apple appears to have cut the 3 kilohertz, 4 kilohertz, 5 kilohertz, and 6 kilohertz frequency bands. The approach is designed to defeat wake word detection, which relies on recognizing the acoustic profile of phrases like S-Lady and Hey S-Lady, by surgically removing the frequencies that carry key phonetic energy in the word S-Lady, and I'm sure everyone knows what I mean when I say that. Apple can reduce the likelihood that HomePods, iPhones, iPads, Macs in viewers' homes will trigger while the keynote plays back. Many reported that it triggered it anyway. So who knows?
I can't get my S-Lady to not trigger.
Yeah.
Recently,
much like my wife,
it just picks up on the weirdest thing. I was driving and having a conversation, and somehow my watch started collecting all this thing. Yeah. The other piece is that I did a lot of work, and my professional association is the American Counseling Association. Now, if you say those 3 letters together, if I say those 3 letters together, it always triggers the S-Lady.
That's weird.
I know. Yeah. I just wish Apple would let us name it ourselves.
Else. Yeah. Well, some of them do. Like my ChatGPT chatbot, I call Dorothy. So, it responds to Dorothy. So, okay. And you can do that just by basically bringing it up and saying, I want you to be Dorothy instead of, whatever the default is. And it just works.
Yeah. I would call mine.
It has no hooks into anything else. So
yeah, I would call mine stupid or damn it.
Well, you see, those are things that could come up in everyday conversation with me.
Yeah, I know.
Whereas Dorothy, not that it's a bad name, it was my mother's name, but it's one of those that just doesn't usually come up in conversation.
Yeah.
So it's pretty safe. But yeah, if I could call S Lady some other name, yeah, I think that would be better. In the girls who like bots and bots who like girls, or S Lady is just not into you department, Apple software engineering Craig Federici and marketing chief Greg Joswiak. I should know these things.
Just call him Joss.
Joss. Sat down for an interview with the podcast Mostly Human, discussing Apple's take on AI. When asked whether users could, I'm sorry, this is, I included this story on purpose because it just made me laugh. When asked whether users could create an AI boyfriend or girlfriend with the new S Lady, Federici said, absolutely not. Siri is meant to help, and Apple didn't want to focus on personal engagement like other AI companies. From Federici, quite the opposite, because as you know, if you use many of the existing chatbots, they really focused on engagement to a large degree and cacophony, right? They kind of want to pull you in. They might encourage you to reveal things about yourself and then use that as a basis to establish a connection. We view it as quite the opposite. I mean, the way that we have designed S Lady, it really wants to just say, listen, that's not what I'm here for, okay? I'm here to help you. I'm here to get things done. I can help you learn about the world. But if you try to engage S Lady as a romantic partner, Siri's not up to that. Siri's 100% not into it.
And not into you, I guess.
Well, certainly not me. Joss said Apple didn't want to do AI for AI's sake, and the company wanted AI to blend in with existing iPhone features. We like it when technology disappears. We just focus on what you want to do, and you focus on the content. It's the same thing with AI. We don't do AI for AI's sake. Hey, look at us. We're doing AI. It's how does AI make everything better? That makes our products better, our features better. He went on to say he doesn't want iPhone users to have to be prompt experts to use AI. We want to meet them where they're at, said Joss. Have the products and features become better, and this is just really helpful technology in making those features and products better. Federici wanted to make it clear that Apple's approach to AI is privacy forward. I think it's a challenging thing for a lot of people to understand the distinction between what your phone knows and what, say, Apple as a company knows. Your iPhone is yours. Your data is yours. And if it stays on your phone and in your control, and S Lady is doing that for you, Apple doesn't know, or Apple, sorry, blah, 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 blah. Apple doesn't get to know any of this stuff. And that is very different than I think most of the players in that space. And that's super important.
So what you're saying is you can't use Apple to have a girlfriend.
No. Not without a specific app that's meant to do that. And that is
and there are those. I mean, there I have presented on and demonstrated Replica, but there are specific apps that go much more in the freaky deaky. I haven't tried them out, but if you want to have those kind of arrangements, there are apps out there for it.
Yeah, it's just a sad comment on society that instead of actually going out and meeting people, you're going to have a digital girlfriend or boyfriend. Just go out and meet people, okay?
No. Here's the thing, there's LLMs are set up to give you and encourage you and in a very positivistic way. They're going to say nice things to you. They're going to say, that's really great, Marty. I'm glad you decided that fits right with what you've been doing.
Yeah.
And you don't get that from humans.
Well,
So I fully get it. I fully understand people having those kinds of engagements or wanting those kinds of engagement. Not that that's something that I'm driven to, but I do get the idea that you've got somebody who is always there, always polite, always apologetic when you say you did something wrong.
yeah, like it's their fault instead of your own.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that's, boy, talk about codependent. But, you know, that's exactly what you won't get from speed dating. So
No.
I get it.
I never, because speed dating came along long after I got married, but that would be something that I think I would like to try. I don't know why. It's like, how many people can I get to reject me in the shortest amount of time possible? All right. That's all I've got for Gaz's snippets.
Last flash from Gaz's snippets. Apple News on the brain. Scroll it, swipe it. That's the segment. Now we're jumping off the train. One more ping, then silence. Hit the logo, fade to black. Gaz signed off on Apple headlines till the next drop brings us back. Hey!
Hey.
Yeah, hey.
I gotta watch that. I gotta watch the head bouncing with that because I have vertigo.
Oh,
And
don't make yourself sick being on this show. I mean, I know that the gag reflex is already happening, so don't do anything extra. That's what I got to say about that. The main topic, which is also going to go right into S-Lady AI. That is what the main topic is going to be this week. Basically, there were lots of announcements at WWDC 2026, but the biggest and most anticipated of them all was what Apple was going to do with AI and what was S-Lady going to be transformed into. As it turned out, to no one's surprise, the answer was going to involve both AI and S-Lady. So let's get into that. What is S-Lady AI? According to Apple, it's their words are hard. It's their newly announced, I'll get through this, more capable version of Siri, S-Lady, powered by Apple Intelligence, designed to be more conversational, understand personal context, react to what's on your screen and work more deeply across apps and devices. It can answer broader questions, pull relevant info from your inquiries, and carry on a more natural back and forth conversation. It also adds a dedicated app for revisiting conversations, plus stronger writing and visual intelligence features. The big difference is that S-Lady is moving from a basic voice assistant toward a system-wide AI assistant that can understand context and act across apps. For Apple users, that could make everyday tasks like summarizing, searching, and automation feel much more integrated. So that's what Apple says, Marty. Now, you've had a chance to play with this a little bit on a device that can actually, or is supposed to be able to use it to its fullest extent.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing in terms of it being able to pull things together. I think first off, I'm going to do a little, chest beating because people got all upset 2 years ago when they couldn't get the flight of their mother-in-law. And as they showed on that advertisement, they could. And, sorry, Apple, you jumped the gun. You shouldn't have promised something that you didn't have.
You should not have.
And, however, the delays, they're like, why can't they just make it? Everybody else is making it so quick. We have, various types of AIs, LLMs, and they're managing to get it. Apple's got a ton of money. Why can't they get it? Well, what's cool is I think, I said, because Apple's not doing what the other businesses are doing. They're creating a privacy structure and an integrated privacy structure that's not promised by the other services that are out there, and that's going to take time. And for me, that's what I think it's Apple Foundation or AI Foundation. Originally, they said, "Oh, they're getting into bed with Google. Google's going to, make their AI, and we're going to all wind up using Gemini." No, I always thought they were going to buy the expertise and still manage the service that they were going to create, which turns out to be, I think, Apple Foundation. It integrates with everything in your Apple ecosystem, and for the developers, it will integrate their apps in when they build the APIs into their apps that will allow them to get into this SAI, as they call it.
Yes.
I think it's a brilliant move. And one of the things I think about is the way I use AI now is I get an email in my Apple Mail, and I have to copy and paste out the contents of that, put it into an external LLM, and maybe there's a document that goes with it that I have to have in there to share or to talk about. Have the LLM generate a response. I have to review the response. Then I copy and paste the response back into my mail system. And I have to take everything out and take it outside of the garden, work on it, and then bring it back in. With the demonstrations that they did with it, the idea that you can pull up an email because it has availability and privacy of that context and say, okay, let's generate a response to this. I can do it all within the privacy on device of the Apple ecosystem without having to take all these steps to take it outside to get done what I want. So I think it'll be a big advantage for Apple, because it's all done on device and within their system. And for things like strategic planning and other things that I do, I'm not going to be expecting to do that within the Apple ecosystem right now. So yeah, I think it's great.
And remember as well that how much time have you, or do you have to spend now copying and pasting information out of mail into a separate LLM, reviewing the response that it's making on your behalf, and then of course then you also have to go in and add your own little personal touches to it, and then copy and paste out of that back into an email. So in this particular case, you don't have to do any of that. You're doing it all right from mail, which has the hooks into Apple Intelligence that are already there for you and can just work on it all there instead of having to move all over the place to make it work.
Yeah, this is what Apple does best, and they're doing it with this integration and privacy, and they're doing it with the way they've chosen to do Apple Intelligence or SAI.
Yep.
And no other system, I think, will allow that to happen because they don't have the infrastructure built in to do that.
Yeah, they don't have the hooks into their own applications to make that happen. So it's not like a lot of these other companies have word processors and spreadsheets and email clients and everything else that Apple does that's already built into the system that allows people to just say, okay, well, I want a little bit from column A and I want a little bit from column B, and, just mix and match it all into one big, Apple AI mess. And that's something that an integrated company with integrated apps, integrated operating system, and integrated hardware like Apple can do as compared to so many other companies.
Mm-hmm.
God,
Yeah.
they almost sound intelligent. It's like this guy.
Yeah, I am excited about this. We are on the first beta release. So there are things that I'm looking for that I don't see, particularly Vision OS. And so these kind of things, the magic floating orb of the S bot or S lady. I don't like S bot. That we're supposed to get in Vision Pro. We
Jeff
haven't.
likes using S-Bot, but it just doesn't sound natural to me.
Well, it seems a little too automated and not integrative.
I'd meant to get a hold of him and say, why don't you just switch it to Spot? And so instead of saying S lady or S-Bot, you just say Spot. And that way it doesn't trigger S lady, and eventually people understand what it is that you mean. Eventually.
Yeah, he and I both agree on the gender neutral aspect of, I say SAI and he says S-Bot. And we both agree on the gender neutrality of it, because having to always refer to it as a lady feels crazy.
Yeah, and it's not like you can't change the gender in Spot to something else. You've got multiple countries and voices that you can choose for it.
So would you pronounce as Spot like Sbarro's?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you can get pizza and your AI at the same place.
At the same time and the same place. I like it. As long as I got Hawaiian. Pineapple belongs on pizza. I will die on that hill. Apps beyond Apple. If you believe that Spot AI is limited to just Apple apps, that would be wrong. However, developers will need to add, we were just talking about this, Apple Intelligence, APIs, and other hooks that Apple has in their toolbox, like extensions, style, integration, and shortcuts. Even then, only partial integration may be possible depending on the applications and how deep they need to go into personal information. A supported app could let Spot AI pull up context, hand off a request, or launch a specific action without you opening that application first. Unsupported apps would stay outside of Spot's reach, at least until their developers add compatibility. And that's what we were just talking about a minute ago. And it'll take time. But Apple is making the hooks available. It's not like they're doing this in a sandbox. They're making the hooks available for other developers so that they too can take advantage through their applications of Apple Intelligence or Spot AI. Spot, not S lady. Spot.
SAI. The thing, I heard a couple of things. I heard that first developers were upset because the keynote seemed like it was for everybody but developers, considering the topics they had. But the rest of the week was for developers. I also heard that developers, Apple is this time making lots of tools available for them. They're really trying to meet their needs. And then something that I thought was really interesting was a discussion that occurred in one of the non-keynote presentations, was the idea that there was a encouragement that developers could use SAI to resolve problems, almost like vibe coding.
Really?
Some of their, and developers have strong feelings about vibe coders, but the idea that you could run your code and you could use SAI to do a comparison or so integrating the use of AI into the development of apps and the improvement of apps, which was part of what they were saying. This is now going to be available for developers to use for that purpose. So
Interesting. So kind of like what Claude does in a way, but not to that
yeah,
extent.
but I think it was really kind of the examples they gave were geared towards. So you want to maybe change the tone in this orientation versus let's see what that looks like, and them being able to use AI to generate those kinds of changes in
And
code.
view it on the fly kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's address the intelligent elephant in the room. What are the devices capable of running Spot or SAI? I'll just say SAI. That is a tricky question and might not make a lot of people happy. There's conditional support for a wide range of Apple devices, and let's begin with the absolute minimum. So iPhone 16 models or later, plus iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max, iPad mini with the A17 Pro, and the iPad Air and iPad Pro with M1 or later. Macs with Apple Silicon, and this sounds like, I don't even know why they bothered to put this in, starting at the M1 or later. Were there any Macs based on Apple Silicon before the M1? Well, actually, there was.
Yeah.
There was the developer kit, the Mac Mini developer kit that they made with an A18, I think it was. Something like that. Or no, it had to be earlier than that. Maybe it was like the A15 or A16. But regardless, yeah, if you have a Mac and it has Apple Silicon, chances are it's an M1 or later. The Apple Vision Pro, the Apple Watch Series 9 or later when paired with a comparable iPhone. Now, Apple says the baseline SAI experience includes conversational help across the system, product knowledge, better request handling, typed requests, writing tools, Gmoji, image playground, smart reply, and shortcuts automation. For a lot of these tasks, the device will have to send the request back to Apple, and this will result in some delays. This is not a surprise, or shouldn't be a surprise. Now, if you want the more fully featured SAI, that will require more advanced Apple hardware, and this is a much shorter list. The iPhone Air, iPhone 17 Pro or iPhone 17 Pro Max, iPad M4 or later with at least 12 gigabytes of unified memory, Mac M3 or later with at least 12 gigabytes of unified memory, and the M5 Apple Vision Pro. And the big difference is that these more powerful devices and the features it enables will include more expressive voices and more advanced dictation on those devices. And most of these kinds of requests on these devices will be accomplished on the device itself. So it won't have to go back to Apple and use their computational power in order to do it. It will just do it right on your device, which will significantly decrease the amount of weight that you have to have in order to get a request fulfilled.
Well, they do want to sell hardware.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And I guess for me, the big question is, would earlier devices also be able to do this at a reasonable amount of, what would the
Lag?
word- Yeah, without the lag, or without it being such an experience that going back to, having that request go back to Apple would make more sense than just trying to do it on device.
Yeah.
And I have doubts that that's actually what's going on here. I think you're right that Apple, and again, they're a company and They want to make a profit and they want to sell hardware. So could some of the earlier devices beyond the ones that we just talked about do it on device? Maybe. But these are the guidelines that Apple has so far for SAI.
Yeah. And Intel is completely out of the loop on this. I mean, that makes sense, obviously, but none of this stuff is going to be able to be done on anything with Intel, which is why you start with M1s.
Yes.
And
Yes.
And those forward.
So
I have a Vision Pro M5, and also an M2, and I'm not sure some of the advanced features. Like, I really don't care how sweet the S person is and the way they sound. You know, I don't need to do EQ on their voice in order. I just need them to respond to me and respond to me appropriately. So some of these seem like really high, at this point, seem like really high-end kinds of things. So even with the second tier hardware, I think you're going to get the best of what you're going to get. Whereas, oh damn, I can't make her sound more sexy or whatever, you know.
Yeah. And if anyone listening, if you think back to the GazMaz snippet story, SAI is not meant to be your girlfriend or boyfriend. Stop treating it like that. Go to a park, go to church, go to a bar, find real people to talk to. Please.
Don't go to a park.
If you go to a park, don't be creepy. That's what I got to say. You know, just talk to people. Be normal. Don't try to impress them with some kind of knowledge that you think you have as compared to what they have. Just be a regular person.
You pointed out 3 obstacles. One is just talk to people.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
That's an issue. Be normal is another issue.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, because people don't know what normal is. They don't have a benchmark for it.
Look at me. I'm perfectly normal.
And the third thing is we are the worst judges of our own personalities.
We are. Obviously, from what I just said, you can tell that right away.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well,
I'm not giving up on AI girlfriends. Not yet.
Well, you can always go to ChatGPT. Would you agree with that, Marty?
No, you know, like I said, I've heard of this. I haven't. The only one that I attempted to work with was Replica, and because it would give a 3D hologram projection of the person in your room. And the problem I had with Replica was I wanted a friend who was 68 years old, overweight, moves slow, and cursed occasionally.
Okay, well, that's like me in 2 years.
Yeah, well, you know, if I'm looking for a friend, I'm not looking for a 22-year-old male. You know, speaking of creepy,
Just a little bit.
It wouldn't allow me to create an image that was not a beautiful person. You know.
See, now I have to go and look up Replica just to see what it is that you're talking about.
It's $15 a month, is what it is.
Oh.
And I knew I was going to present on it at a conference and wanted to test it out. So I signed up for essentially 2 months and made the recordings and then presented it. And it scared all the people because, you know, they were going to lose their job to artificial intelligence. So,
What, they all work for OnlyFans or something?
no, they're counselors.
Okay.
They could also work for OnlyFans, I guess.
Yeah,
But
that's the first. See, I say
Yeah,
that
those-
I'm normal, but that is the first thing that came into my head.
yeah, that isn't mutually exclusive, I guess. It's just
No,
that
I
people
guess
don't talk
not.
about it if they do.
Okay. Well, I'm agreeing with you, Marty. Are you nodding your head? He is.
I am
see
nodding my
lots of
head
nodding.
slowly so I don't get vertigo.
Gases tips. Mostly. Gases tips. Mostly. Gases tips.
It's time for
Gases tip.
Okay. Gaz's tip this week: use Command plus Tab to switch apps quickly. And then if you want to, you can press Q while the app is highlighted to quit it without even reaching for your mouse. And this is a real, there's lots of these tips that come in and you're like, okay, well, I got to hit Command Shift R plus and it gives me a cookie. No, this is not that kind of tip. This is 2 fingers. Every single app that you have open will appear in a small box in the middle of your screen, and then just use your arrow keys or whatever to get to the one that you want to switch to. It's a quick switcher. It's a quick way to quit apps that you may not even know you're running at the time. I have run into that myself. It was like, when did I start that app? And you don't even remember sometimes, but some of these apps just kind of fade behind other windows and you don't even know they're there. So by hitting Command plus Tab, you can see all of your currently open apps and then decide what you want to do with them from there. And yeah, that's the whole thing. I'm nodding my head. Yeah, that's
yes.
it. That's
Great
the
idea.
wrong one. That's not it either.
Hit it. That's the
There
end
it
of
is.
Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
I'm such an idiot.
Is that the end of the test?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you're absolutely right.
Okay. So many things happening. We both have a 4-pick sake. Mine is Retrocade. This is free-ish as it's part of Apple Arcade. Lots of classic 80s video games like Pacman, Galaga, and many others, though it didn't have the one that I played the crap out of in the 80s, which was Defender. I loved Defender. It doesn't have that one, but it's got lots of the other ones. And it's if you already have Apple Arcade, it's free. And it works on the Mac, it works on your phone, works on your iPad, all over the place.
Yeah, there were a few games that I got interested in, and none of them passed the 1990s. So this is pretty cool. I wished, and it's not in there, but like Duke Nukem, but the game I like to play the most was
do it till it hurts.
Yeah, Zaxxon.
Yeah,
which was kind of a fly through kind of thing.
Very similar to Galaga.
Yeah. This is something that I would go look at because it captures the games that were a bit of my life during that time versus some of the newer stuff that's much more complicated. That's on Switch and things like that. So
where you have to be able to hit 6 buttons at the same time to get him to scratch his nose or something.
I have never been able to figure out one of those PlayStation X, Y, B,
I've tried playing like Halo on the, not on the PC, on like a console, and I just suck at it. And not that I'm all that great anyway, but playing Halo on a computer with a keyboard was just so much easier for me to deal with. And I guess, you end up becoming a product of the environment that you grew up in. So, things are just different now. Now, what is this that you've got here, Marty?
I have for years, and why don't I just use reminders? I don't use reminders, but I have been looking for a sticky note app.
Mm-hmm.
And all the ones that I have found don't sync between machines. So what good is it if I have a sticky note on my home machine that I can't open up on my laptop and it's there?
Right.
This one does it.
Nice.
And it's $2.99 for a month, $12.99 for a year, $29.99 for lifetime. And it is called eNote, and it has a variety of templates in there, so you can put in things like just general straight notes. You can do a daily to-do list if you want, and then click on that. The template opens up, and you've got it on your screen. So, yeah, I just need to have it in my face, even if it takes up real estate, to remind me that I got to get this done.
Yes.
So don't forget, Guy's show is on.
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah.
And remember, if you listen to this show, please tell your friends, please tell your family, tell your enemies, tell anyone who might care that the GMen show continues, the successor to the mymac.com podcast. And it's so sad that that's no longer around, but that's a whole nother story. If you would like to support this show, you can do so by going to Coffee and buy me one of those things. And you would go to coffee, ko-fi.com /MacParrot. I don't know why that J is there, but it's going to go away right now. And now it's gone. You can also support me through PayPal, and that would be paypal.me /MacParrot. If you do any kind of feedback to the show, whether it's through, the podcast aggregator of your choice or whatever, you let me know about it. I go and I look at it, and then I will send you something that will make you wonder what you have been doing with your life up to this moment. And it is called a Woo T. And if you don't know what a Woody is, that is a big W, big O, big T, little I, little E, exclamation mark. That's a Woody. That's exactly what it is. And if you do a bumper, which is like a 5 to 10 second thing where you say, oh, the G-Men are great, listen to them on, the G-Men podcast. Or if it's something like, oh, the G-Men show sucks, those guys are just losers. Well, you can do that too. We don't care. We'll play them. The audio version of this show has a former bumper right at the very beginning, just before the main part of the show starts. The video version does not. That's something completely different. So, and again, you can say whatever you want about us. Please keep it between 5 to 10 seconds. And if you must use naughty words, Marcus, they will be beeped. That poor guy. He gets blamed for everything. Marty, if people wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
Easiest way is at Gencius, Jencius. That's my last name. You can connect through all the socials. You can find me there, but I'm most often on BlueSky and Mastadon. The website for the different shows that I do and the different shows that I'm on is thepodtalk.net. Just thepodtalk.net is the website, and you'll see the other shows and maybe find one you're interested in listening to.
And you have many, many shows that you do.
Yeah. Come to think of it, I've got to get you on 15-minute bites.
I know. And the whole thing it wasn't my idea, but I was the impetus for it happening.
Yeah, I still have a little file that says Guy's roast recipe.
Roast
yeah.
So good. I love roast beast. If you would like to contact either Gaz or myself, you can do so by sending us an email to the GMen Show, GMENSHOW at iCloud.com, GMenshow at iCloud.com. You can reach me over on the Twacksters as either MacParrot or VertShark, and on Skies of Blue is MacParrot or VertShark. You can get a hold of Gaz over on the Dawns of Mast. Oh, there was something that Jeff came up with, and I can't remember it. Mastadon as GazMaz, GazMaz, or as GazMaz, GazMaz over there on Skies of Blue. And we also have a combined Twackster and Skies of Blue account called Guy and Gaz. And Marty, if people look at the bottom of the screen from the video, they'll know exactly what telephone number I'm just about to talk about. And that number is 703-828-4677.
Guy has a Google voice number. The G-Men want your call. Call him now.
Thank you, Jeff. You should just go ahead and call us now, 703-828-4677. That is a Google voice number. You can call us from outside of the U.S., and if you do, you would add the number 1, then, which is the U.S.'s country code, and then the number including the area code, and you may incur charges if you dial it directly. And if you still can't remember that number, here it is one last time.
703-828-4677.
That's right, Marty. It's 703-828-46. That is the number that you would call to get a hold of us. I also have Guy's Daily Drive, which is an archive of all the ones that I recorded in my car on the way to work, starting at about 2018. There's a bunch of them over there. There's also Tales from the AI Verse, which is like a glacier moving across northern Canada. There's still only 2 shows out. I don't know why I continue to talk about it, even though I've got like 10 ready to record. It's so sad, Marty. It really is sad that I haven't figured it out yet. So here we are, Marty. It is the sad, sad, sad part of the show where we have to say goodbye to all of these lovely, lovely people.
Yeah.
It is sad. It makes me sad to think about. But all jokes aside, I am sincerely grateful that you have taken the time to download and listen to the GMen show in whatever way it is that you listen to us. It is greatly appreciated. And Marty, I think that we were good enough. I do. Sincerely.
Yeah. I think we were smart enough.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that, Marty?
Well, at least one of us.
Yeah, but we're not going to say which one. And also that doggone it, woof.
Doggone it.
Wolf. Wolf. Woof, woof, wolf.
Oof.
People
like us.
And yeah, it's an ongoing thing. Marty, what comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years?
Oh, that's an easy one. The letter M.
Yes, exactly. What do you call a dog that does magic tricks?
A labracadabra.
Door. Labracadabra door. I know, that's hard to say. Okay. And lastly, what do you call a snowman with a 6-pack?
Your friend.
An abdominal snowman.
Oh, that kind of 6-pack.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And
in hand, I hope. So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and I go home.